Hello everyone and welcome to Lush and Salty Aquariums. My name is Stefan. Thank you so much for coming to the channel. Back at the 32-gallon bookshelf aquarium, which of course is way too big and heavy for a bookshelf, but here we are. And where to focus, right? I'll tell you, of all these beautiful and magnificent creatures, what caught my eye and what stimulated this video is this glorious pink ram's horn snail. You see its pink foot, its pinkish white shell, crawling across the blackened piece of bogwood. And that's my hand trying to steady the camera. There's a couple German black swordtails, a pair. They've been dropping some fry. There's a very similar looking platy right in the mix there, a tuxedo platy, and of course the ubiquitous but nonetheless, or I should say no less beautiful, leer-tail black mollies. I mean, look at that guy. Oh my gosh, how beautiful is that? I think it's a female actually, so I messed up my pronouns. What else is new? There's a couple white cloud mountain minnows flashing and flaring and zipping about the tank. They were the first residents of this aquarium, but as they never spawned, I decided to get something that would, and boy did that happen. Live bearers, folks, the baby making machines of our hobby. There's my favorite fish maybe in all of the fish room, that gorgeous leer-tail. I'm now thinking it's a molly. In an earlier video I speculated it could be a leer-tail swordtail. I haven't ruled it out. What do you think? Let me know. I'm honestly asking. I'm not fishing for comments. I'm not sure. I just know he's really, really beautiful. Look at that. The why I think it's a swordtail is that dorsal fin is more pointed when it's erect, certainly, than typically what I see on mollies, certainly platies. Look at this. Look at that fatty. So beautiful. Hey! Ah, there's a leer-tail, black molly. Just everywhere in this tank. And I talk about them constantly. That's a fry right there that I raised up, already fat and happy. For all I know, she's pregnant. Oh my gosh, where did Mr. Snail go? My inspiration has dropped. Now there's another beautiful one. Maybe that's the same one. Perhaps out of direct light, it's taken on a more mottled pattern next to the two orange lasers. What a great Coryadora. They used to be so much more harder to find and costly, but now about anywhere from 10 to 15 bucks a fish. That's still a lot of money for a fish, don't get me wrong, but they were more. Now the green or other color variants of the laser are actually more money than the orange, for whatever reason, a little bit rarer still. That's a black Coryadora, another Cory that has had a similar narrative of being super duper expensive in not just a few years ago, and still not cheap, but easier to get, because these, just like the orange lasers, are surprisingly easy to breed. Not for me, but from all my fish tuber friends. I see people all over the world having success breeding both of these two. Look at them, right in the frame, just in time. Here's a lovely autosynclus. Look at the color on that. They don't always show that stark and contrasting. That's vivid, right? Autosynclus are often considered boring workhorses, but that guy's pretty beautiful. There's a smaller black Coryadora. There's fry littered throughout this aquarium, and I'll find one pretty quickly. There you go, little black molly, see him? And I take them out because this tank cannot sustain any more fish. So I've been putting them down into, I had 2 fry tanks. Look at these guys are already ready for the fish store. Look at that beautiful fish. These are all babies from the fish I just showed you. And they're packed into a 5-gallon down here on the bottom. I had 2 tanks. I cleared the space, and wait till you see what I'm putting in there. It's gonna be bigger, and it's not going to be a fry tank. It's going to be its own special aquascape. But back here, I'm happy to be able to film right now because I don't always see the Coreodoras like I'm seeing right now. Look at them all. Look at those orange lasers. What a fantastic looking catfish. And the black, just 2 of my favorites from what is an all-time popular species, the Coreodora catfish. So many variants, new ones being discovered all the time, but those 2 really top of my list. I don't have the panda Coreodoras in here, but those are so cute too. I have them in other tanks. Maybe the pandas and the laser and the black are my current favorites right now, with stir-by Coreodoras receiving an honorable mention. I could easily be convinced to mix that order up. They're all wonderful. Honestly, if you're in this hobby and you don't have Cory catfish, you're missing out. They'll work in almost any tank. There's a species perfect for any size aquarium, right down to just a few gallons with the pygmy Coreodoras, up and into the classic 10 and 20 gallon where you could start to have fish like this. I've trimmed this aquarium. I trim all my aquariums now that they're in max grow mode. Once plants like the Vallisneria and the Anubias and the Pogostem and Octopus, those are the 3 plants in the order I just named them. Anubias with the flowers here. If you saw my last video, I was literally ranting and raving about these glorious orchid-like blooms coming out of the Anubias. They're still in perfect condition. They haven't faded or started to droop or die, at least to my eyes. I'm so happy to have them in here. I moved some of my most beautiful cryptocorn from the display tank, the 135-gallon display aquarium, into the corner here, and so far no melting. I'd had some stems in here, but honestly, they were doing great, but they blocked a lot of the sight line. I just felt it was too much back there. It's very busy, as you can see. And so cryptocorn, the neat thing about crypts is you can see through them, right? They have those thin stems and elegant leaves. Sometimes you get the great bronze or red coloring purple, like you see here. And I thought that would be a perfect new addition for this particular aquarium. The bogwood here, over time it went from a beautiful cherry red when it was dry to kind of jet black like the Coreodora, but the black and the red is a motif in this aquarium, which is a fancy word for theme. I've got a lot of black and red working from the substrate to that bogwood, to those German swordtails, to the black mollies, to the White Cloud Mountain minnows, tuxedo platies. Really, black and red by design was what I was shooting for. Not in the plants, not really. A little bit with the crypts, as I talked about, but in the livestock and in the hardscape. Dragonstone, of course, always known for its red hues. It looks yellow to red when you buy it dry, but it can get wonderfully red under different lights. It's an inert stone, so it won't affect your pH at all if you're concerned about that. Anyway, delighted to have shown you this video. I lost the snail. He was the source of my inspiration of all things in this aquarium, the lowly ram's horn snail. But when they're red like that, they're pretty special. Dealers sell them for more money when they're red or pink than the brown variant, for obvious reasons. They're just more beautiful. Hardly a pest snail, in my opinion. Anyway, folks, thank you for watching. As usual, always keep your hands in the tank, and ciao for now.